And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, he's the 5-time Northern Area Amateur Champion as a professional. His record is perfect, 4-0 from Spennymoor, Chad Ellis. First to the scale, Angel Emelov.
So that, Rich, 152 to 152, 10 stone 12 pounds.
10 stone, 12 pounds for Emelov. 10 stone, 12 pounds. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Spennymoor, the undefeated Chad Ellis.
£10 stone 9 pounds.
10 stone, 9 pounds for Ellis. 10 stone, 9 pounds for Ellis.
So Darren, it all starts tomorrow on Sky Sports, 7 o'clock. We've got, I think, 13 or 14 fights on the bill, so not all of those will be televised, but for the fans actually going, they've got a real big chunk of boxing. There's a bit of criticism about, saying on the Wembley card, there's only 4 or 5 fights. This one, jam-packed, and it's good for some of the local guys to be getting a show as well in front of their
Of course it is. I mean, look, like you say, 9,000 banged out for these young lads that have only had a handful of fights. What a great experience it is for them. I mean, it really does hold you in good stead moving forward, because one day, they want to emulate Ritson and become top of the bill themselves. So, yeah, it does help. That experience certainly helps. But yeah, I mean, it's the noise in there is going to be electric, and we'll just see these going head to head here.
And also for these guys, the first time they would have had this kind of weigh-in in front of a crowd of people, because there's so many times you weigh in the early stages of your career and you're just weighing in a small room,
There's
a couple of officials.
People. Yeah, exactly. There's a handful of people, but this is a banged out shopping centre, and it just shows you again what boxing means to this city. I mean, it's a huge fight city, like I say, and yeah, look, I mean, they're out on force. It's a Friday afternoon, and it's buzzing.
75 pounds. Introducing first to the scale, please welcome from Paris, France, Seydou Sal. 10 and 8, 2 draws, 4 knockouts.
Seydou Sal, Darren Boatsy fought
12 stone, 9 pounds for Sal. 12 stone, 9 pounds
kind of a slightly
Sal.
ambiguous finish, because Boatsy stopped him, it looked like, in the 6th round,
And now,
right at the
ladies
end.
and gentlemen, please
rounder.
welcome to the scale the former ABA middleweight champion, 21-1 with 10 knockouts, fighting out of Manchester, the former British light heavyweight champion, Jose the Hammer Burton.
So it'll be quite interesting, because we were talking yesterday about the comparisons people are going to make between Boatsy and Yard in terms of the Tony Avalanche performance tomorrow night, but also be interesting to see how Jose Burton deals with Seydou Sal, because as Boatsy, as he showed against Boatsy, he can box, he can fight, he's tough, he went 6 rounds with Josh, so it's potentially an opportunity for Burton to
It's a very good test for him, and he looks extremely focused. Just seeing him on the scales there and seeing him yesterday, there's a look in his eyes. He really means business. I think he wants to make a statement.
He's
just had a little bit of time off, hasn't he, Burton, as well. He's been kind of under the radar since that loss to Frank Buglioni a little while ago, and really just now it's his time to kind of come back and remind everyone that he's still here and he's still a force.
It's make or break. You don't get many second chances in boxing, and he's had his. I guess you could say he's had his chance. He had that setback, and now he's really got to push on. He doesn't want to hang about. You can see, like I say, the look in his eyes. He means business.
So there they are, just final face down in a few moments' time. Seydou Sal and Jose Burton.
It's not for the shy, is it? A weigh-in like this,
No. No.
Taking your clothes off in front of hundreds of people. There's a bit of verbal going on here.
Yeah.
6 rounds light heavyweights tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, Burton and Sal.
Respectful guy, side yourselves. He was last time. Looking forward to that one tomorrow.
That was the first smile I've seen Jose Burton crack in the last couple of days.
Quite serious, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been very serious.
6 rounds light heavyweights contested at 12.5 stone or 175 pounds. Introducing first to the stage and to the scale from Accra, Ghana, he's the former 2-time Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion, Charles the Crusader Adamu.
Charles Adamu. Making his way to the scales from Accra.
32-10. He's got
town
25 wins by knockout.
Ghana
the Crusader now to the scale.
He looks like a hardened veteran, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? Does, yeah.
12 stone, 7 pounds for Adamu. 12 stone, 7 pounds. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, the former Team GB podium boxer, his professional record, perfect. 5-0, 1 knockout, Lawrence Osuweki.
Lawrence is another interesting one, Darren. He's kind of been floating around the GB podium potential squad, on and off the squad for a number of years. Just was kept out by a couple of really decent operators at his weight, and that's not easy, is it? Because sometimes you're looking at the major championships that are your opportunity to kind of turn over and make a statement, and you can only send one fighter from each weight division to those championships.
11
Someone like Lawrence, who a lot of people won't have known until he turned professional, has to wait in the wings and have to wait for their time to shine. So again, another one looking forward to making a statement tomorrow.
And he looks in great nick. But going back to that, it just shows you the strength that we've got on the podium team and the GB squad. It's just, the talent is unreal. And you keep in, talented fighters like him out of the team. Just shows you the depth and strength that we have.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of boxing on the kind of European circuit, going to things like the Tama tournament in Finland, some Bulgarians. I mean, you've done all of that as an amateur as well.
6 rounds light
That's a
heavyweights
great basis upon which to build as a professional.
Absolutely. Like, again, I can't keep
Sponsored
touching
by
on,
William Hill,
the thousands of people that are going to be in
Sports.
attendance. That experience moving forward really does help you, because one thing as an amateur, no doubt you can box, he's very talented, but one thing you can never be prepared for is the volume of people, the huge numbers in attendance, and to have this so early on in his career really, really will help him.
Well, you timed that really well, because whoever was in charge of our cameras then just panned around the top layer, the top balcony of
I'm a professional.
Center.
I'm a pro.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night.
Yeah, he looks in terrific shape there, doesn't he, Lawrence Osuweki? Veteran Charles Adamu is his opponent tomorrow night.
He looks hard, doesn't he? He looks old, but he looks hard.
He does, yeah.
Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, the Crusader and Osuweki. 6 rounds, light heavyweights, Metro Radio Arena here in Newcastle.
It's a great moment.
Next contest, 4 rounds,
getting on the scales.
9 stone,
It really is.
135 pounds. Introducing first, please welcome this gentleman to the stage, fighting out of Worcestershire, UK, the Madman, Michael Mooney.
David Diamante still getting to grips with the weirdness of our language. You forget how weird it is until you get Americans to come over to try and pronounce it.
It's great, isn't it? But going back to the weighing, for some of these fighters, they're losing, a stone and a half. So to get on these scales, it's almost half the battle.
Is it a relief when you
so
see the numbers
really
come up
is a
that you
relief.
want to see? Yeah.
And it's a bit of a nightmare in here, because I've seen the Krispy Kremes stand over there. There's milkshake stands everywhere. So
the scale, the Madman, Michael Mooney.
And you can see Jose Burton came up in a pair of his tracksuit bottoms, so you can see how loose they were on his legs and his hips. And that kind of says it all, really, because you know what it's like when you've got a kind of pair of sort of trousers or whatever that fit well, and then suddenly they're loose. That tells you all you need to know.
Exactly.
Undefeated as a professional, 3-0-1. Please welcome, as a former North League footballer, Darren Ray.
We've got some Mackhams in the house.
Yeah, we have. They were even in full voice at the presser. You don't often hear cheers at a press conference, do you?
No, you don't. I couldn't believe, it really was a turnout yesterday at the presser.
9 stone 9 pounds for Ray. 9 stone 9 pounds for Ray.
So the hard work done for Ray off to rehydrate, no doubt. What did you used to do to kind of refuel? What was your food of choice?
It was the one time I used to train so hard, but it was the one time that I wasn't that professional. Straight after the weigh-in, you know, some people approach the weight making differently. Some crash it at the last minute, but it was a gradual thing for me. So I had to cut out a lot early on. So I craved chips, I craved milkshakes. Oh, it was,
really?
yeah, I pigged out.
What was the most you ever kind of put on?
A stone.
Really?
A stone,
okay.
yeah. The stone before breakfast the next day.
14 pounds.
And it was no good, but in my later fights when I was more professional, it was about 7 pounds, and that was, you know.
Did you ever find you kind of when you were a stone over, what effect did that have on you?
Sluggish, slow. You got to remember, my body doesn't want to be a stone heavy. Yeah. You know, it's not natural. It's not healthy.
In Newcastle, Eddie Hearns of Matchroom Boxing.
Yeah, but about 7 pounds for me was perfect because you're sort of sparring around 12 stone. You know, a middleweight being 11 stone 6. But yeah.
Interesting when they were talking about this rehydration clause between Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Obviously, we know Kell is someone that is much drier than Khan is at 147. Khan wants to kind of fix a £10 limit on that fight if it were to happen. Do you think that might even play into Brook's hands for you to be able to come into fight night under 157? Do you think that might be a healthy way for him?
It's the same as the IBF. So those who don't know, the IBF have a ruling that the next morning after the weigh-in, the morning of fight night, you can't put more than £10 on. So he's basically using the IBF ruling. Brook has done it before, but we see against Spence, you know, he wasn't full of energy like he usually is. No. You know what I mean? You know, that though he was well beaten against Golovkin, he looked strong, didn't he?
Did,
you know, he was full of energy. It does play into Khan's hands, certainly. That's why they've asked for it. But I'm a little surprised if I'm honest. I just think
8 stone 7 for Tran.
Just make the weight and have the fight. I don't think they should have bothered with it because it shows a bit of they're lacking in confidence slightly, in my opinion. Because why on earth would you do it? But anyway, look, it's done now. I just want to see the fight made. So if it means doing that, then
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
This gentleman has a perfect professional record, 24-0, 3 knockouts, fighting out of West Rainton, County Durham. The British Super Bantamweight champion and the reigning defending undefeated IBF European Super Bantamweight champion, Thomas Patrick Ward.
Well, he's a talented individual, is Ward. I mean, he really is a fantastic fighter. Great record, and he's full of confidence himself. And like Eddie said at the presser, touching, you know, he's in the world rankings,
9 stone for
closing in on potentially a world title fight. So it's a big night for him, massive night for Ward.
7 or 8 world champions at the moment, UK. I think
blimey, he's thrown me there.
Sorry, I should know. Well, I don't know either, so don't worry. But it's either 7 or 8. Rocky Fielding, I think, was maybe the 7th. Oh, you know what? Because Callum Smith and George goes, the title never, although it changed hands, so I think it is 7. But point being is that, you know, you look at the likes of John Ryder, who we'll see in a couple of weeks' time. He's in the world title eliminator.
Now going to face off the fighters.
Some of the guys here
6 rounds, Super
this
Bantamweights,
weekend.
That
Number could soar to 10 or 11 in the next 12 months without even being over optimistic. That could just be a realistic objective for us.
Look, we're going to continue to win them, and no doubt we'll continue to lose them. But you know, the strength of British boxing now is just getting better and better. And going back to the podium setup, the GB setup, it all stems from there. That's our foundations. You know, and with the talent, you know, with Cyrus Patson, you know, what a fighter he is. You know, and some of the other lads, John Doherty, who's making
Cormac twins as well.
Yeah, the Cormac twins, but John Doherty, who's making his debut tomorrow night. You know, the talent of fighters that we've got coming through is exceptional.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Well, Anthony Fowler, who will be boxing tonight or tomorrow night, beg your pardon, he was kind of suggested maybe a late addition to the Wembley card 2 weeks ago, but I just don't think there was enough time when they floated the option to him. But he's another guy that never really goes way above his weight. He's always in the gym. He's always in really good shape.
Contested at 12 stone or 168 pounds. Introducing first, he's an 8-fight veteran fighting out of Malaga, Andalusia, España. Please welcome Alejandro Mostazo.
Yeah, it does. It makes life easier.
Mostazo coming to the scales.
Chris, when you do sort of, I mean, Carl Froch used to do it. He would walk around about 4 pounds over the super middleweight limit, and he was strong as an ox. Whereas, people have different approaches. You know, it's so hard to not switch off after a fight because you've been training for 10, 12, 14 weeks. your body naturally wants to put on some weight. Some hold it better, some, you know. It was a nightmare for me, honestly. Stone and a half, it used to really, really hurt.
I spoke to Frank Doherty yesterday, Joe's dad, about that kind of transition for him as well. One of the things in the amateurs that's so difficult is that although it was a couple of kilos heavier than the weight division he's going to be fighting in as a pro, difficulty is you've got to hold that weight in competition for sometimes 5 days. And one of the problems he had in the Commonwealth Games, he was at middleweight, got the bronze medal, but he found that just holding that for 5 days, the first couple of bouts were okay, but then about 3 and 4, he just felt like he had no energy. And obviously, this is a great thing about being a pro is you can, if you have to boil right down, you've only got to boil down for a matter of a few hours.
Honestly, them tournaments when you're doing that, it's so difficult. I remember in the Commonwealth Games, 63.5 kilos I was, and like you say, you're holding it for 5 days. You know, in the end, it starts taking its toll. But with pro, you bring it down gradually, you get to the weigh-in, on about 2 stone, and you go again.
Sports and exclusively in the United States on the zone. Jordan Latimer to the scales. $11 stone 6 pounds for Latimer. 11 stone 6.
My old limit, 11.6. I don't think I'll be making that in any time soon.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome to the scale. Tomorrow night he'll be making his professional debut. He's a former Team GB member. He took bronze for Scotland at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, John the Doc Doherty.
Well, here is the man that we've just been speaking about, John Doherty, the Scotsman, making his debut tomorrow night. After a really successful summer, bronze at the Commonwealth Games. And speaking to his dad about, it was a little surprising that he didn't stay the course for the Olympic cycle, because he was the favourite at that weight. He beat Ben Whittaker, who I think many people would agree is probably the number 2 at the weight category. Whittaker has now moved up to light heavyweight. Some other very, very talented boxers in there as well. Jordan Reynolds in the mix too. And I think maybe they just felt that there was no guarantee of Olympic selection, no guarantee of qualification. And even if you do qualify, we saw in Rio so many top guys getting difficult draws in the first round. There's no guarantee of a medal either, so they felt that in those 2 years they could do a heck of a lot of building, and so he's turned over.
Do you know what as well, Chris? I mean, it's dreams and aspirations, and his maybe in the pro game. You know, he might want to, you know, he's dreaming, like many of us boxers do, dreaming of winning titles as a professional, and that may be the case with Doherty. You know, he just thought, you know, he's travelled the world, he medalled in the Commonwealth Games, a major tournament. He just obviously felt the time was right, and good luck to him. He's teamed up with Tony Sims, my old coach, who's a fantastic trainer, great man manager, and I think from what I hear from Tony, he's very excited about Doherty.
Well, you said to me, you know, Tony's a busy man these days, isn't he? And Tony doesn't really take on people. A little bit of needle there, but we got some big security boys to keep them, to keep the lads safe.
Latimer Doherty, full round super middleweights tomorrow night, Metro Radio Arena.
That's what he said to me. He said Tony is a busy guy at the moment. He's got a busy stable with a lot of quite key fights coming up. He doesn't take people on lightly, and he's kind of almost a closed door unless he really believes somebody's got the talent to make it, and that says a lot about John Doherty.
It does indeed. When Tony said it to me, you know, he said this boy's special. If he says it, he means it. He's very honest, Tony. So I'm looking forward to seeing him progress as a pro.
To the stage and to the scale, fighting out of Birmingham, the Truminator, Chris Truman.
There is plenty of fights on, as we said. There's some good fights as well. A lot of names that a lot of the viewers might not have heard of, but let me tell you, they're very talented, and the matchmaking has been superb. I mean, they are great fights.
We'll be live from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon from the Metro Radio Arena. We've got Mr. Dave Allen on the show, and I don't know, Dan, that I've ever seen anybody quite as relaxed and quite as you would never know that he was boxing. You would never know he was boxing, would you?
He's a 55-fight veteran fighting out of Plymouth, Devon, Chris Attaway.
We'll have him on the show tomorrow. We've got Tom Crazy as always.
Do not miss that.
Oh,
Do not miss that.
It's going to
Let
be
me
really
tell
special.
you now, Dave Allen is very funny, and I've just found out is ridiculously good with numbers. He's like the Rain Man, and we're going casino tomorrow night.
Yeah. 10 stone dead. 10 stone for Attaway.
Not before the fight, though, Dan.
No, not before the fight. No, that'd be selfish of
And
me.
now, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Newcastle as a professional, perfect 2-0. Please welcome Terry Wilkinson. Terry Wilkinson.
Some local support for Wilkinson. Another one who looks focused.
Also 10 stone dead for Wilkinson.
Blue, thank you. All right, Davey.
We're going to get David Diamante himself on the show for Usyk Bellew in 4 weeks' time, because I tell you what, a lot of people are just sort of slightly uninitiated as to him, and they're seeing this guy he hasn't had a haircut since 1988.
Great story.
He's in a tuxedo. He's one of the most charismatic, lovely men that you'd want to meet, isn't he? And he's got some great stories, and be really, really good to kind of get him on, have a chat about him and his life. And he was there, of course, for Usyk's last two fights in the World Boxing Super Series.
It's just a different angle and a different view of boxing. You know, being the MC, he's done some huge fights, like you say, the final of the World Series. And yeah, he really is a cool guy. He's fun to be around, and he'll be great on the show, won't he?
Yeah, he absolutely will.
Attaway Wilkinson tomorrow night, Metro Radio Arena.
I'm expecting some noise when we're seeing it to Scouts, aren't you? I mean, it is filling up here.
Yeah, couple of professional sprinters.
I'm a little disappointed. I've not seen one Newcastle shirt, though.
Have you not?
No, I haven't seen. Well, actually, sorry, I can see one away,
Ladies and
one
gentlemen,
away
we're gonna
strip.
bring up a 10-round cruiserweight affair that's contested at 14 stone, 4 pounds or 200 pounds. Introducing first to the stage and to the scale, 8-1, 7 knockouts. Fighting out of Liverpool and representing the Four Corner Combat Gym, please welcome Craig, the Real Deal Glover.
Oh, he looks a solid lump, doesn't he, Craig Glover?
Yeah, this is going to be a good fight. Both very confident. At the press conference.
Ounces for the Real Deal, Craig Glover.
Both
talking.
Well, sorry, the city wasn't there, but
ladies and gentlemen, stepping to the scales.
Glover was very, very confident when he.
Elite Squad and Team GB Podium Squad. In 2010, he took gold in Delhi at the Commonwealth Games, and now, as a professional, 13-1, 1 draw, 4 knockouts from Middlesbrough, Yorkshire, Simon Valili.
Well, I've just seen a couple of professional sprinters in the audience, James Ellington and Richard Kilty, who both competed at Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, and I think both those middles were based, so a couple of his mates that he's given a nod to as well. Nice to see them up here.
Yeah, he's great. You know, the local support's been brilliant.
It must be quite cool when you've got, I mean, as a big Chelsea fan, I know some of the players are your friends, and when you go up the ranks in your own sport, you see guys doing well. It must be good fun.
I remember when Frank Lampard texted me, he got my number, I didn't know he had my number, and he texted me after won a European title, and I was buzzing. You know, because you forget what you're doing as a boxer. You should have
gone, how the hell did you get my number? Don't
text me. Yeah. No, it was great. But like I was saying before, that's going to be a good fight. It was Dave Allen who was talking up Valili, wasn't it? Saying he'd been sparring with him.
That's right. They're looking in monstrous shape, and they're both looking in really, really good condition. Not enormous cruiserweights, has to be said.
Not.
But I guess we're kind of getting used to some real monsters in that division now, especially Lawrence Okoli and Matty Askin, two of the real big men in the division.
Or even Tony Bellew coming back down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. God, look at these two. A little bit of needle there.
The Lily Glover tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. 10 rounds cruiserweights.
Oof. That was spicy yesterday, wasn't it? Because, you know, it was a good bit of fun from Dave Allen, made everyone laugh, as he seems to do literally 24/7. But Glenn Foote just turned the spice levels up a little bit on Robbie Davis Jr. Didn't really seem to get under Robbie's skin too much. I think he probably knew there was going to be something like that. But nice that it had a little bit of everything in this, and I think that sums up what we're going to see tomorrow night. Likeable bunch of fans, likeable bunch of fighters, really spicy fights, and just a great atmosphere.
50-50s. Obviously, Ritson is a huge favour, but going down the card, there are some 50-50 fights, and yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm not just saying that, you know. The Glenn Foot, Robbie Davis Jr. is one I'm looking forward to, because you know what you're going to get. Robbie Davis Jr. said it at the press conference. He's going to have the kitchen sink thrown at him. He knows what's going to come his way, but that brings excitement. You know, it's up to Robbie Davis Jr. Then what does he do? Does he box, try and move?
Well, it was interesting because against Mikhail Sirivotka in the second fight, having really kind of just been a little bit too macho, probably too macho for his own good in that first contest. And even though he was ahead going into the 12th round, he got stopped. And I think he probably looked at that and thought, didn't need to do that. And in the second fight, he actually showed a lot more maturity. Boxed probably 80% of it southpaw. But Glenn Foot, you're going to have to earn that respect early on, because if you don't, remember seeing Glenn Foot for the first time live against Phil Bowes for the English title at York Hall, probably only 18 months ago. And Bowes, very, very slick southpaw, very skillful, but I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying he's not a heavy puncher. He's a pot shot mover, and Glenn just didn't earn Glenn's respect from the first bell, and as a result, he was just all over him for 12 rounds and kind of just mauled him and outworked him. And Robbie's just needs to be careful, doesn't he? That's happened to him tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I would say for Robbie Davis Jr. as well, when you've got someone coming forward that much, I wouldn't like to see him switch as much as he does.
Yeah.
You know, stay in his strongest stance and try and land the big backhand shots, try and keep Foot off.
Sam Nebo and Dave Allen, talking of no needle at all, there's no needle at all here.
He's actually his translator.
Has a professional record of 14 wins, 4 defeats, 2 draws, and 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Conisbrough, he is the Doncaster de la Hoya, the Sock, the White Rhino, David Allen.
Look at the pants. I came down this morning and he was having a cup of tea in the bar, and I sat with him for an hour, and I haven't laughed that much in a long time. He said he was going to come in about 18.5. He said his optimum's about 17.5. He's a stone over that.
10 rounds heavyweights tomorrow night here in Newcastle.
Gold pants.
What a cheer he's going to get tomorrow. What a cheer he's going to get.
You cannot not like Dave Allen. No. I mean, he's such a character, such a nice guy, and like you say, you've only got to spend a bit of time with him, and he will have you in pieces.
The room was in stitches last night, you know.
It's honestly, he's hilarious.
There he goes. He's clearly bought those for the occasion, isn't he? So he weighed at 18.5. He says 17.5 is about his optimum, so he's about stone over that. And I know that you would like to see him just come in as trim as possible when he kind of, if he steps up and has a big one, he's got to get back in that kind of shape we saw him for Len Roy, Thomas rematch.
Exactly. And I just want to see him, you know, and he's saying it himself, he's taking it more serious. And we want to see that because though he has a great personality, he's great fun. He's got potential. He really has.
10 rounds heavyweights tomorrow night, Allen and Nebo here in Newcastle Metro Radio Arena.
There we go. Dave Allen and Samir Nebo tomorrow night at heavyweight. Boazzi, Ritson, Fowler still to go. Who else?
Well, Fowler, I think I can see him in the crowd here actually. His opponent has missed his flight, so I think he's weighing in tomorrow now. Anthony Fowler, right? Which that's a nightmare. If you just want to get on the scales, you've got to wait an extra day.
Although for somebody like Fowler, I would say if it's going to be anybody, Anthony Fowler's a perfect person because he never ever sits still high above his weight. He doesn't blow up on fight night.
Yeah,
he always sits around that. He's 3 or 4 pounds over. So for him, if anybody's going to have to deal with that, you would prefer it to be someone like Anthony Fowler. Well, here's Josh Boazzi's opponent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. He is undefeated as a professional, 7-0 with 5 knockouts, originally from Accra, Ghana, and now living and fighting out of Croydon, London. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Olympic bronze medalist and the reigning, defending, undefeated WBA International Light Heavyweight Champion, Joshua Boazzi. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Averla.
Well, one thing you can't question about Tony Avalant is that he's not afraid to take a challenge. Taking on Anthony Arden-Boazzi within 3 fights of each other, and to be honest, those are not easy guys to match.
Yeah.
Boazzi, as we know, very, very hard to get him fights because people kind of say they want to box him, but actually they don't want to get anywhere near him. Anthony Arden, another dangerous operator, very heavy-handed, but Tony Avalant, credit to him, he's taken both guys without any worries or anything.
He's a fighter, isn't he? He's a fighter.
Boazzi.
And he's quite good, this guy, isn't he?
He's all right, yeah.
He's some talent. Probably, arguably, the best talent we have, coming through.
I think he might have heard you say that as well. We're just talking about some of the best
Singing
talents.
your praises, mate. Singing your praises.
Yeah. 74.8 it looks
12
like
stone,
there.
6 pounds, 13 ounces
Bang
for
on.
the undefeated WBA International Light Heavyweight Champion, Joseph
And even if he
Boazzi.
rehydrates, once the beard and the hair come off, he'll probably weigh less
Here
tomorrow night.
in Newcastle at the Metro Radio Arena, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearns at Matchroom Boxing. Broadcast live exclusively here in the UK on Sky Sports and in America on DAZN. We're now going to face off the fighters.
So much confidence with Boazzi as well, and he sort of relishes that. But he doesn't call it pressure as such. He understands that he's a talented fighter, and there's going to be these sort of comparisons made. I pointed out yesterday that people are comparing him to a young Evander Holyfield. I mean, what
10 rounds
what
WBA
a
Light Heavyweight
compliment that is.
Championship on
But
the line.
he's not phased about any of
No,
that
he's not,
kind of
is he?
stuff, the hyperbole, the praise, the fame. He's just in the gym.